Hello, this is Tate with Blackbird Outdoors, blackbirdoutdoors.net, and I want to do a review of my 72-hour kit, or 5-day survival kit, really. And the reason I'm showing you this right off the bat is this is the list we have here. It actually ends up in the kit, so we wanted you to see this. But I'm going to start out with the first things on here. One, we run on the rules of 3. So the rules of 3 state that we have 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, and 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. So our kit is designed around that particular first thing. The first thing on our list, of course, is remember to breathe. So make sure you sit down, stop what you're doing, don't run around, and breathe. The second thing is a space blanket, because we're going to talk about shelter first. I like this particular brand right here. We sell them here at Blackbird Outdoors for $7.24. This is the 2-person version, and this is by Survive Outdoor Longer. So it's kind of a really neat idea over the regular survival blankets, which are the Mylar that make a lot of noise. This one's, like I said, the 2-person version, so it allows you to have a lot of extra room and to actually use it in your shelter if you're doing the wintertime, or if it's a rainy type situation, to be able to bring it inside your shelter. The second thing is 2 40-gallon trash bags. These can be used for all kinds of things. If you're in a desert type situation, you can use these for putting around plants and using them to gather water. You can also use them as the distiller type item, where you dig a hole and put them over the top. In rainy type conditions, it can be used as rain gear. It can also be used as food gathering or log gathering type ideas, so you can gather more wood quickly for a fire. And just in general, wind protection. Wind is what's going to take most of the heat right out of you. So having a bag over top of you to hold that heat in, even if you don't have a wind breaker, these work really well. So something to think about. There's lots of videos on there on how to use garbage bags. The second thing is going to be 3 to 4 zip ties. I really like zip ties because they allow you to be able to build shelters really easy, build all kinds of tools with them. You can tie things up. You know, just a really great idea for most type situations. The next thing on here is 4 feet of duct tape. Now, the duct tape on my kit, I've wrapped around the bottom of my, so actually down here on the bottom, you'll actually see there's 4 feet of duct tape rolled up on the bottom. And that allows me to be able to get to it real easy if I need to. Now, somebody asked, well, what happens if you want to use the water bottle to put inside your to use in the fire? What do you do with the duct tape? The lighter is also a perfect match for being able to roll the tape around that if you need to get it out of the way in case you need to use the water bottle. So that's kind of a neat idea, or just rolling it on itself works just fine too. The next thing we're going to talk about is fire building, getting you warm. So the first thing on this is the 5 balls of cotton soaked in Vaseline, and I put them in these little itty bitty the mini kid sandwich bags, or the snack bags. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a teaspoon of Vaseline in there, or petroleum jelly, and I roll them around in there. These guys, once they're broke open, if you're using a flint and steel or fire striker type item, these work really, really well. The other item in here is jute rope, which I always like to have with me. This works even soaking wet, so even if this bag was full of water, these jute ropes can actually be broke down into a small tinder pile that then can be used to take a spark very, very easily. And these are also soaked in wax, so something to really think about. The next item is a butane lighter. I like these little Bic lighters, one, because they have the sparker on them, so even if the lighter is completely out of fluid, you can actually light your tinder really easy just with the striker. So something I recommend instead of like a flint and steel type application. This works really, really well. The thing I've done on the top here is to cover it up so you can't hit the button while it's in the kit. And whatever way you want to do this, I took 2 lighters apart, and because I'd had a problem where it actually had hit the button and actually burnt all the fuel out. The next thing is going to be the box cutter. And what I like about the box cutter idea is this is your cutting tool. This can be used to skin animals, all kinds of things. What I really like about this, one, they do lock, so they have a locking feature on them. And the other thing is you can snap off the blades to make a sharper blade if you need to. So for building all kinds of little things, I always recommend having a knife with you, but if this is all you have with you, that would work. And it does fit inside the kit. The next thing, Strike Anywhere matches and Stormproof matches. We've done some reviews on these Stormproof matches. These are amazing. They do a really, really great job of lighting, and you can even put them underneath the water and they will not go out. So I like these. Again, you're only going to be out there for 5 days. Hopefully somebody's coming to get you. This is a long-term survival kit, so lighter and matches, much more valuable to me than, let's say, a flint and steel type item. Now, the next thing on here is going to be a Band-Aid kit. I basically have some alcohol swabs in here for cleaning off the surface, a few different types of Band-Aids in here, no smelling ointment on these at all. The whole kit is designed to be non-smelling, so you're not attacked because of this. So the idea, we have super glue in here, and all Band-Aids have no ointment on them, so it's something I definitely recommend against. The next thing is going to be an emergency whistle. The one on the outside, this is actually the lid of my water bottle, so it's on the outside, so it's easiest to get to. I recommend the Fox 40 whistles. We do sell them here at the shop, and that's something that really is fairly important, that is going to be able to really be a loud whistle. The other whistle we carry inside the kit is off our headlamp here. I just want to show you that real quick. Not the best whistle in the world, but it does do a good job. Pretty reasonable. And it's actually on the strap of the headlamp. So our next item is 40 feet of 3mm or paracord. I really like paracord because it's a 7-strand internal 550, so it's 550-pound test. I keep 20 feet on the outside of my kit and 20 feet on the inside of my kit. And these are the fast packs that if you watch some of our other videos, you'll see how those are made. So they're really easy to pull one side and just string all the way out, which is really nice. The next thing on our kit is our Petzl headlamp, which we really, really like. These guys they weigh almost nothing. You can clip them on your belt. You can clip on. They also have the headlamp feature to keep your hands free. Now the cool thing about this guy is you can see it has 3 headlights. You have 3 different settings. And then you have a flash setting. This thing will flash for hours and hours and hours, days and days and days. So I always tell everybody, look for me at night, because that's where you're going to want to look for. The next setting is a red flasher setting. So that can also be real good if you're trying to keep yourself from being seen, but also you don't want to ruin your night vision. And an actual red for night vision type use, which is really, really nice. This thing does it all. Super light, good battery life, runs on lithium-ion batteries. Batteries in there will last about 5 years without having any real problems with them. The next thing is a stainless steel cable saw. These guys right here, these are a wonderful item if used properly. They are designed to be used as a bow saw. So they are not designed to be just put between your hands and just rocked back and forth on the stick. You actually want to put them on a bow saw, bend them over a stick, and then tie them on. So a real good idea. You know, read the back of the package on this guy or ask us. We'd be happy to tell you. The next thing is a 32-ounce or 24-ounce water bottle, which is a really important idea here. This particular one is a clean canteen. I like these guys a lot because there's no plastic in these whatsoever, because these can be actually thrown directly in the fire to boil water, which is increasing, like I said, your 3-day limit without water. It's making you able to survive much, much longer without having water. The next thing on here is 10 water purification pills. We do not recommend iodine. We recommend the catadine type system pills, which is a kind of like a bleach derivative type item. It's the main ingredient in bleach that actually makes it purify water. So what's nice about these is you can store them. They're all individually sealed, and each one of these will make one of these wide mouth bottles of water. So the next thing is going to be aluminum foil. I have 2 feet of aluminum foil that I've wrapped underneath this guy. This is also where I store my emergency blanket to keep it from getting ripped up. So it actually has duct tape on the outside to protect the aluminum foil. And then it actually has a set of directions on how to use the kit. And then I go the aluminum foil and then an emergency blanket underneath. And again, that's the emergency blanket, the SOL one. So we really like that guy. And that's all underneath there, and the duct tape being down here at the bottom to make it easy to get to all those things in case of emergency. Really important to be able to get to your signaling type equipment, which would be your emergency blanket, and aluminum foil can also be used for that. The next thing is going to be food gathering type items. We have your snare wire here, and also your rope, which is another good way of making snares, especially if you're making spring snares. The 30 feet of fishing line, which I have inside here with my matches, and I actually have 30 feet of heavy duty line, which can be used in snares and in building our shelters, and then a 10-pound line that I can use for fishing with. Then we have hooks and some weights in here. A couple other things I put in my personal kit is the bobby pins for pinning up clothes, things like that. A light stick, which I really like these. The military uses these for signaling. They're actually used in the terms of putting a piece of rope on this and spinning it above your head so it makes a perfect circle. Really neat idea if you're trying to be seen by somebody. If you get somebody close and you really need help, spinning this above your head tells them instantly you need help. I always have a knife with me. I recommend, this is a knife I actually designed, but a couple things I've added to my knife, and this is not in the kit, but I always recommend you have a knife with you. So a couple things I've done with my knife: I have a couple Ranger bands here on the back. I have put a piece of that jute rope soaked in the wax, so it's really easy to start. And that could actually, the amount that's in this guide actually runs all the way down here alongside. That is enough to start 2 fires, and then I have a flint and steel. So that flint and steel packed on the back, it's one of the mini ones from Light My Fire. I really like that size because you're not going to need 5,000 strokes. This will do about 1,500 swaps. Hopefully you're saved by that time. But these kind of things like this, I always recommend a full tang knife, something that's going to be nice and heavy duty that you could split wood with to make fire sticks if you need to, or whatever you might need. I always do carry a multi-tool with me. I carry the Leatherman Wave with me most of the time, just because it does have the knife sharpener built into it. So if you do have to sharpen your primary knife, that works real well for that. If you have to pick up the water bottle out of the fire, something to think about. These are more luxury type items. This kit right here is really what you want to have on you all the time, and really, if used properly, you could survive for multiple days, upwards of 5, and really beyond that, mattering how good your snare making skills and your trap making skills are, and being able to make a fire in boiling water for multiple days is a real easy thing to do. And with all the stuff we have here, we can actually make multiple fires, multiple fires. So that's able to increase your time out in the woods exponentially, really. And then just hopefully being able to be fine within about 3 days. So stay where you're at. Make sure you breathe, build your shelter, and get some water. And last resort, find some food. More of that's just to keep your mind going so you're not getting too excited there. But this is Tate with Black Bear Outdoors, blackbearoutdoors.net. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call here at the store, and we do sell most of these items here at the store. So if you're looking to pick these things up, we can help you out with that. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.